Satisfying Sesame Tofu Veggie Bowls. Hi friends, welcome to Cooking Live with Lala. I'm Lala. I'm a home cook, professional baker, and plant-based eater. Whether you are also plant-based or just trying to get more plants into your diet, this show is for you. Let's get cooking. All right, so this dish today has three components: vegetables, tofu, and sauce. We're gonna start with the vegetables today. I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees. That is a temperature that I like to roast vegetables at. And you know, I just picked vegetables that was in my fridge because honestly, this dish today, this is one of my go-to dishes when I don't have much time. I don't want to spend time thinking about what I'm going to cook for the evening. So for me, it's just a grain, usually rice or quinoa. I love the white rice so much, but sometimes you got to put some more nutrients in there. So I do that. I roast whatever other vegetables I have, whatever I have, potatoes or sweet potatoes, onions, peppers, mushrooms, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, carrots, so many more vegetables. Whatever I have, I throw them in the oven and roast them. I quickly cook up some either tofu, tempeh, or beans, and I make a sauce, and that's it. And it just doesn't require much thought on my part, and that's why I love it. And so today I actually haven't, the only thing I pre-cooked, I made my rice again. You know, I'm probably not going to do a rice video. There's a million of them out there, but everything else is not, nothing's cut, nothing's ready to go. I washed things and that was it. So we're just going to see, we're just going to throw this dinner together. So I am going to actually put the broccoli in the oven. I'm going to roast it. Everything else I'm going to cook on the stove. So let's get this broccoli going. Sometimes I like to save these end pieces and make a broccoli slaw with them, or I'll just freeze them. I don't really like to be wasteful, but for today I'm actually moving, like literally, I am moving this week. So I may have a little more waste than I usually do. I like to cut my broccoli in kind of like medium-sized pieces. You know, if I'm eating a bowl like this, I don't want to have like a piece this big in my mouth. I don't want to have to cut anything. So I kind of try to make everything, you know, kind of a standard size. I'm not going to be pedantic about it, but... So I'm just going to throw this in the oven. I'm going to roast it. I really like my broccoli roasted. I think it's a really great flavor. And you know, guys, roasting veggies is so simple and easy. Just throw everything on the pan. I'm using my Silpat today. Oh, you guys can't see that. I'll show you in a second. I am using a Silpat today. It will help everything not stick. It'll help my pan not get very dirty. All right, so here's my Silpat. Silmat, I'm not sure. Silicone baking sheet, that's what I like to call it. I'm just gonna cook this with a little bit of olive oil and some salt. Olive oil is not necessary for this. Salt is not necessary for this. If you don't want to use those things, you could just throw on some seasonings, whatever you like. But that's that. And it's just going to go in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, awesome. So I'm going to get some of the other vegetables going in the pan, a saute pan. You know, I just really like the way onions and peppers and mushrooms, and we're gonna do some bok choy. I have baby bok choy. I just think these taste better in a saute pan than I do oven roasted. But you know, when I have those really busy days, trust me, I will throw all of these things on a roasting pan in the oven. All right. So I'm gonna get my onion going first. How do I want to cut these today? I think I'll just do slices on these. You don't have to use onion. You could use whatever vegetables you guys have. You know, as a plant-based eater, health is really my first goal, but a close second is flavor. I want everything to taste good. I don't want to just eat rice and flavorless green beans that were frozen or in a can. Ooh, that's like no way to live, man. All right, got my onions cut. So I'm gonna saute these actually right here. Ooh. I'm gonna get this guy going again. I don't think this was very much money. And it sure does help me on this show a lot. All right, I'm gonna bring out, I'm gonna call this Old Bertha. I don't know if that's a good name. Maybe somebody can give me some names for this guy besides Old Bertha. Okay, I'm actually gonna cook my vegetables in some sesame oil today. Just to give it a little bit extra flavor. Sesame oil is a strong flavor, that is for sure. So you want to be careful not to use too much. So once again, this show this week is not live. It is a recorded show because on the day that this airs, my daughter should be having my grandson, our grandson. We are all very excited about him. So I was certainly not going to stress myself out with trying to do a live video on the day my grandson's born. I'm going to be helping with the family a bunch. I should be in the delivery room. That is very exciting for me. I love being in the delivery room. I've seen all my grandkids born except for the twins, and that was because of the you-know-what pandemic, and they wouldn't let anybody in the room. All right, I'm gonna cut this pepper. I always keep peppers on hand. I always keep onions on hand, garlic. There's just like some staple vegetables that I eat almost every day, and I always keep them in my pantry, in my fridge, whatever. You know, being plant-based, it's not that it's hard. But if you really want to make plants a focus in your life or add more to your diet, how are you going to cook plants at home if you don't have any plants in the house? You got to keep plants in the house, am I right? I think I will make strips out of these as well. I'm going to put a timer on for this broccoli too. When you cook as long as I've cooked, sometimes you just don't go by a timer. You just go by smell. Oh, do I smell it cooking? It must be done. I use all my senses when I cook. All right. So next week, we will be having a live show. Thursday, 6 p.m. I think it's July 13th. I think that's the date. July 13th? Oh, I was hoping you were looking that up. Why am I getting the middle finger? Did I do something wrong? Yes, now everybody knows you gave me the middle finger. Okay. All right, so I've got onions in here. I've got peppers in here. And I got these cute little baby bok choys. Look at these guys. I love bok choy guy. Wow, isn't that beautiful? What a pretty little guy. I did clean these. I actually soaked them in water because the fact is, if you do buy these baby bok choys, even though the regular size bok choys, dirt can hide. Look at that, I just found some dirt. That is going to be super annoying because I'm going to have to clean these again. Okay. So I'm gonna peel these off. I'm going to give them another wash. I love bok choy. They're one of my favorite vegetables to put in dishes like this. This I actually got from the Asian market. I love the Asian market so much. Oh my god. I don't even know what I would do without it. Let me turn this down. This is cooking pretty high. But we do want to get color on this for sure. The sesame oil smells amazing. Alright. So while I cut this, and since this is not the live show and I do not have all the people on chat who keep me company, I did ask some people to write some questions for me, just to keep the conversation going. So let me see, the question one, why did I become plant-based? Wow, that is a serious question right there. Let me get these bok choys washed real quick. All right, I'm gonna let those dry for a minute and then I'm gonna finish cutting them. So I was actually obese for, gosh, maybe like 7 years or something like that. And I tried every diet on the planet. I literally did. I tried keto, and I did lose weight with keto. I mean, I wasn't happy with keto because who doesn't want to have carbs in their life? Wow, that was sad. So I lost weight with keto, totally did. I think I lost about 25 pounds. And then one day I was like, I think I'll eat a carb. And I ate a carb and then that was it. The next 6 weeks, I spent that time gaining like every pound of those 25 pounds back. I think it was 6 weeks. It was a few years ago, but I gained that weight back from keto in record time. I mean, the truth is you do have more water weight when you're eating carbs, so part of that was water, but man, I gained weight fast. I tried the cabbage soup diet. I definitely don't recommend that. I have never been so bloated. I was so bloated, it was painful. I tried that. I tried to go on like a smoothie. I think it was a juicing thing, where you just drink juice. We've all seen that one, right? And I lasted about 24 hours and then I ended up going to a fast food restaurant. So yeah, that was really good. So what I decided to do was I'm gonna try to learn things about nutrition. All I know about nutrition is that you're supposed to eat a certain number of calories a day. And if you eat more calories than you burn, you will gain weight. And that's true. That's definitely true. But I spent so many years dieting and counting calories, recording calories, weighing food. I did all of those things. And I was really just desperate for an answer. I didn't want to be obese. I kept losing 20 or 25 pounds. And I kept gaining it back. And that was terrible. I hated that. So I'm just going to cut. So these bok choy leaves, we've got a leafy part and we've got a stalky part. So I'm going to cut the stalks and I'm going to throw them in with the onions. I think bok choy just has great flavor. To me, it doesn't really taste like cabbage. I'm not really sure what to compare it to. If you haven't had it, I think the flavor is pretty mild. Definitely recommend you try it. We've got like something there. You know, guys, like if you're wanting to be plant-based, one great thing about being plant-based is, you know, if you just try different vegetables that you've never had before. I'm always trying something new. I mean, I've tried so many things, it's hard to find something new anymore, but. Ooh, let me turn this sucker down. That is getting cooked. All right, I'm not gonna use all this bok choy I have today. It's really just too much. Let me also get these mushrooms in. back in there. So anyways, I was trying to learn about nutrition. And at the same time, I just started getting, I just was like not loving the smells of meat, cooked meat or meat cooking. It started to make me like nauseated. It was so bizarre, and it had been happening off and on for a couple of years. So as I was learning about nutrition, one day I woke up and I was like, I'm not gonna eat meat anymore. I don't know what it was. It wasn't even really like, it wasn't like a decision. I hadn't even been thinking about, you know, taking meat out of my diet. And I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm done with meat. And that was it. I haven't had meat since that day. Like, I don't know what was up with that. That was crazy, but I was done with that. So that's really how I started being plant-based. There's a whole giant story that happens after that. But yeah, that's basically how that started happening for me. All right, so let's see. Our broccoli still has 8 minutes left. We've got these vegetables cooking. I'm just gonna give like a little rough chop to the leafy parts of this bok choy, because I'm gonna throw these in at the very end of this dish. And like I said, you know, bok choy is I think a pretty mellow vegetable. It's packed with nutrients, but honestly, flavor-wise, I think the stalks have more flavor than the greens, but that's just some good greens right there to get in your diet. All right, I'm gonna prep this tofu while this finishes. I'm not gonna season this right now, but I will have some sauce to put on it at the end. I am actually gonna throw a little salt on here, but I'm gonna wait till the mushrooms cook. Doesn't that look pretty? Man, look at that. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it? I can't wait to eat this. I'm super hungry. Okay, I'm gonna eat this guy. Oh man, I love onions. Onions are so good. All right, I'm gonna get this tofu ready. So this is just an organic tofu. I highly recommend, if you eat tofu, that you do get an organic tofu. So these actually, I bought these and put them in the freezer because I like the texture of tofu after it's been frozen. It just becomes more dense, more meaty. And here's like a shocking thing. So shocking. I do not press my tofu. I don't do it. I don't think you need to do it either. So you guys can't really see this. I don't have a camera over my sink, but I just squeeze out as much tofu as I can. And it's just, the texture is just different after it's been frozen. It's just meatier. It's meteor shower. It's just meatier. It's just a better texture than before it's been frozen. So this is really what I do. Unless I'm making a dessert with my tofu or something like that, I freeze all of my tofu. So I'm going to attempt to cook this in blocks. I'm often not even with that, and that's okay. Is what it is. We eat a lot of tofu. When we make a dinner with tofu, we have to make 2 or 3 blocks, depending on how many people are eating. Ooh, I lost a lot of temperature on this. Wow. Honestly, these vegetables are cooked enough for me. I'm gonna cook them a little bit longer, but I'd be fine with this. The mushrooms are just barely cooked. The onions are mostly cooked. The peppers are about halfway. That's how I like it, but I'm gonna cook it a little bit more. There's a lot of cool ways you can cut your tofu. The way I'm cutting it today is just basic tofu cutting. Nothing interesting, just little cubes. It just look like that guy. This is like mouth size to me. I always get super annoyed if I don't cut my tofu evenly. I don't know why. Guess I'm just crazy like that. Yeah, which I don't always do. I mean, I guess those pieces aren't perfect, but whatever, it's okay. It's fine. All right, I'm gonna throw a little bit of salt in here and cook it for another minute, and then I'm gonna take that out. Let me peek at this broccoli too. Looking good. I probably put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there. This is just heaven to me. I just love cooking a bunch of vegetables for my dinner. I've always liked vegetables, even when I was a little kid. I was a kid who would go to a restaurant sometime. Do you guys remember this restaurant called Po Folks? I think they changed it to Folks. But it was like a Southern style restaurant. I used to live in Georgia, and that was like my favorite restaurant when I was a teenager. And I would go there and I would just order like 4 side dishes. I think they had like a build your own kind of meal. I would just order 4 side dishes. Of course, one of those was definitely like, oh man, I can't remember what it's called. It was a fried dish. Can't believe it. Okra. Fried okra. Oh my god, I can't believe I almost forgot the name of that. I love fried okra. I can still eat that being celiac. I just coat it with cornmeal, which is probably how it was made originally anyways. All right, let me get a bowl to put this in. Sorry, Papa. All right, I'm gonna throw the grains in real quick, actually. I'm just gonna wilt these real fast. Man, those look good on camera, don't they? Yummy. All right, another minute on that guy. Look, there is something I forgot to look for earlier today. And you know, normally I throw my tofu in the oven and I just oven roast it. It's the easiest, but it usually takes 20 to 25 minutes. And so I'm doing it on the stove today to save a little bit of time. Man, I love these vegetables. They smell so good. I could just eat a bowl of this just with nothing else. No other seasonings, no soy sauce, no sauce in general, no rice. Just like this. Ooh. All right. So that guy is ready. Oh, there's my broccoli. These look pretty done, but I'm gonna actually poke a fork to make sure they're a fork tender. Definitely not. They could use I'm gonna do 5 more minutes. I know a lot of people don't like certain vegetables. I'll tell you right now, I am not a huge broccoli person, but if my broccoli is either boiled or it's oven roasted, then I can handle broccoli. Another vegetable I don't love is green beans. So let's see. I don't love frozen vegetables very much. I despise frozen green beans. Now, a canned green bean I could actually eat. I don't know, I think it's a texture thing for me. But if I eat green beans, I have to have like a good sauce with it. You know, we all have our things. I don't have to eat broccoli or green beans. I could just eat other foods. It's fine. Eat what you like, guys. Okay, I am gonna put about a tablespoon of sesame oil in this pan. And I'm gonna cook this tofu just as is in sesame oil. Hopefully I am not gonna overcrowd the pan with too much tofu. It's messy over there too. All right, and I'm just gonna give this a little bit of salt. You know, tofu just doesn't have any flavor on its own. But we are gonna cook this tofu in the sauce when we make the sauce. Look at that, it's already getting a little bit brown there. All right, I'm gonna turn my temp up a little bit. Let's try to get a little bit of crust on this. You can see it's already sticking to the pan a little bit. You know, I don't usually do tofu this way. Honestly, I throw it in the oven. Like I said, I didn't want to spend 25 minutes throwing it in the oven, so I'm gonna try to pan fry it. This is, even though this show is not airing live, it's still being recorded fully. There's not gonna be any edits to the content. If this tofu doesn't work, then it doesn't work. So we'll just see how it goes. Like I said, I don't usually cook it this way. I might have to add a little extra oil. It looks like it's already soaked up all the oil. And I probably don't have the temperature hot enough. Okay. So the next question somebody sent me, how did becoming plant-based affect your health? So before I went plant-based, like I said, I was obese and my cholesterol was just peaking over normal. My blood pressure just kept spiking a little bit over a normal range. And my fasting blood glucose was in a pre-diabetic range. So I knew at the time that either these health issues are either going to get worse or I need to do something about it. I knew the time was now. It was just kind of like a wake-up call. Like I felt like I was fighting this battle, and I knew that me losing weight was part of the battle. But I was just struggling so much. And so yes, once I became plant-based, that year I lost 55 pounds. I lost 55 pounds, and it was really easy to lose 55 pounds. And I stopped having a little bit higher fasting glucose. My cholesterol went down, and my blood pressure is fantastic. It's really, really good now. So yeah, health-wise, going plant-based really, really helped me. But let's be a little bit clear here, okay? Anybody who cuts junk food out of their diet, no matter what kind of, let's say, diet they go on, if you cut out junk food, it's going to do a lot for a lot of your markers, your health markers. I am not a health professional in any way whatsoever. Nothing I say should be misconstrued as health advice. It just is not. This is just what happened to me, you know? You know, man. I definitely have probably overcrowded my pan. I think you can see in the picture, it's like really filled with tofu. It is soaking up the oil like a sponge. I really just might throw this in like a hot oven for a few minutes. Yeah, like I said, this is not how I almost ever cook it. If I were to cook it this way, I'd usually cut it normally in like triangles, and I would just put 6 or 8 in this pan and call it good. All right, that's what the broccoli looks like. I'm gonna call it good for now. That looks really good. And I am actually gonna throw this tofu in the oven. Turn this off for now. I just don't like the way this is coming out in the pan, so I'm gonna move it. you know, being a home cook, sometimes things just don't work out the way you plan. So then you just try something else. It's really not a big deal. I'm not going to be upset about this. I'll probably be upset about it later. But I'm not going to be upset about it right now. I'm going to throw, let me see, what am I doing with this broccoli? All right, I'm gonna put the tofu on the pan. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more oil, and I'm gonna cook it at a higher temperature. And that's what I get for doing things differently than I normally do. You know, just is what it is. All right. The next question that I got was, what was the hardest thing about becoming plant-based? So cutting the meat out was very, very easy for me. I got really lucky. I know that's like for my husband, for example, that he kind of struggled with that for a while. Fish was harder, eggs were harder, but what was really hard for me was the dairy. I was like that bougie person who bought cave-aged Gruyere that had been aged for like 18 years or something in some remote location. So I really, you know, I kind of struggled with the specifically the cheese, not really the milk and stuff, but with the cheese. And I was also that kind of cook who liked to add a lot of like heavy cream to sauces and stuff like that. So that was a little bit difficult, but honestly, the cheese was a little easier than I thought. Once I cut it out, it was really a matter of days before I started feeling like I don't really need that. I think our biome kind of adjusts to a varied diet pretty quickly. And so I was really lucky about that. But yeah, for me, I think the cheese was the hardest thing. I do have a lot of very good plant-based cheese recipes. Most of them are made out of nuts. I may have one or two made out of soy, maybe some other ingredients. Oh, maybe something made out of beans. But yeah, I have a lot of plant-based cheese recipes that are just really fantastic. All right, guys, let's make the sauce. So I am going to grind mine in this. Sorry. This thing just doesn't look that clean. I'm sorry. I can't do it, Tommy. I gotta clean this guy, sorry. Okay, that's a lot better, man. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so I'm gonna throw my sauce into this little blender. I'm gonna blend up my sauce. And then I'm gonna cook the tofu in it. I like the tofu cooked in the sauce. I just think it gives the tofu a lot of flavor that way. So I'm starting with some tamari. You could use soy sauce if you'd rather. I'm celiac, so tamari is the sauce for me. I'm gonna put in that's about half a cup, maybe a little bit more. And I always add equal parts water when I have a soy-based sauce. I'm gonna do I've got some maple syrup. So I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons of that. And the king of the show is sesame oil. This isn't even the sesame oil I'm using, this brand. I actually just buy these giant containers and refill this, but I'm gonna use a couple tablespoons of sesame oil. I like to put an acid in there. Oh, this is rice wine vinegar, so I'm gonna put in a tablespoon of that. honestly, I don't love to measure things. I love to throw things together and hope for the best. I can hear that tofu sizzling in there, so that's a good thing. All right, we got the liquids in there. And I'm gonna add, let's see. I'm gonna add a little knob of ginger. I'm gonna peel real quick. I love ginger. You guys, I eat ginger probably every day. And I think ginger, you know, I've had a lot of stomach problems in the past. A lot of that probably had to do with my celiac, and ginger has really helped me so much. It's just really helped my gut heal. I love it. I could probably chew on one of these, even though it would be super peppery. So that's going in. And I'm going to throw in some, I just have 2 cloves of garlic. I'm gonna throw that in. This is probably more garlic than most people would use. I'm gonna be honest here. I think most people would be happy with the sauce with just like this one little clove, which is, you know, a little bit bigger than the average, but I'm gonna throw that guy in, and this guy who's a super fat piece of garlic. We love garlic. I probably talk about that in every show. It also has great antioxidants. Let me go put this in my blender for a second. All right, I like to give that a taste. I got this old janky spoon. I guess everything else is in the dishwasher. Wow, that is very flavorful. All right, one thing I forgot to take out was cornstarch. So I'm just gonna add a spoonful of cornstarch in here so that it can thicken. And it goes right back in the blender real quick. All right, that's ready. I'm gonna start heating it up in this pan. And while that starts cooking, we're gonna start building our bowl. Oh my God. It's like 8 o'clock at night, I'm not sure. We already started packing everything because we're moving this week. We have boxes all over the place. In your view, it looks like everything is the same as usual. But if you step like 2 feet over there, it's freaking chaos. Everything is crazy. There's boxes everywhere. There's packing paper and miscellaneous stuff and stuff for Goodwill and bags filled with trash and fun stuff. I love it so much. Okay. I got this cool plate from the thrift store. I think it was from the thrift store. Either way, my daughter bought it for me. This is gonna be the first time I use it. Let's get some rice on this plate. We like to use basmati rice in our house. I just love the flavor of it and the texture of it. It's so nice. So good. Okay. Oh, this is cooking. Let me peek at this tofu real quick. This is live TV. That tofu is coming out when this timer comes off. We're just calling it good. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of broccoli on this plate. And I've got some of these vegetables. This is gonna be so good. I'm super excited to eat this. Get some of those guys. This should start thickening in a second. It smells so good in here with all these vegetables and the sauce cooking. All right, so we have a few different toppings today. I am literally like the queen of toppings. Everything I make has to have toppings. When my husband fixes food, I'm like, do you want me to fix a few? He's like, yeah, because he knows I'm gonna do toppings. I'm gonna do them well, they're gonna be great. So I've got these really beautiful green onions. I'm gonna cut some of those to go on top. I always keep green onions all the time. I keep them just in a, this water needs to be changed so don't get grossed out, but I just keep them in a little mason jar with some fresh water. And they just keep on growing. You cut them, they keep on growing. These are some ones that I've cut previously. As you can see, they've resumed growing. All right, our tofu is out. I'm gonna throw this in the sauce. See how our sauce is doing. I'm gonna turn that up a little bit. This little stove top I have is super sensitive to the temperature. You turn it down a tiny bit and then there's like no heat. You turn it up a little bit more and it's like scalding. So this isn't my favorite cooktop, but it's what I got for today, so we're gonna use it. And the tofu has gotten some color, browned a little bit, so I'm happy about that. Another way to make oven roasted tofu, if you don't want to put oil on it, is you could coat it with a couple tablespoons of cornstarch. That actually gives a really nice crust to tofu. We do that quite a bit as well. There we go. I'm just gonna get all these tofus submerged, let them cook for a minute or two, and it will be ready to go. Turn that temperature up. Okay. So I've got some green onions. I'm actually going to use some pepitas. I love pepitas as a topping on my food. These are pumpkin seeds. I do buy them salted. You don't have to buy them salted. But I love the salted ones so much. And yeah, this is bubbling away. I want this to get thicker. There it is. It's starting to get thicker. Thank goodness. And these tofus will be so delicious. They're just gonna be filled with flavor. All right. The other thing I'm gonna add to my bowl is a little bit of cilantro. I really love cilantro on a little rice veggie bowl. Okay, I think that's plenty. And I'm gonna add some sesame seeds. I've got some black sesame seeds here. These are the ones that I like the most. You know, these are pretty cheap if you have an Asian market. They can be pretty expensive at like the regular grocery store, but if you check an Asian market, They might be cheaper. I ended up buying like a really big container for like $7. Oh yeah. This is getting saucy for sure. All right, I think that is good. I'm gonna turn this off. We like good heaping amounts of tofu in our dinners here. We all love tofu. Even my little grandbabies that are like a year and 8 months, I think, they love tofu. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. I'm just gonna put a little bit of sauce on these vegetables so they can have a little bit of this flavor. A little bit on the rice there. Going with some cilantro, green onions, and the little pepitas. And that's our dish. That's our easy weeknight dish. Do I have a taster? Very excited to try this.
Can't wait.
Woo.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the tofu.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very hot.
Mm.
So hot.
It's really good. Really good.
Mmm. Really, really good. I forgot the sesame seeds.
Oh, I want that.
Maybe sesame seeds. Doesn't that look prettier? Oh, it's not on. It's not on. I have to have another bite. I know you want this food,
Yep.
but...
I sure do. Wow.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo. Wow. So a lot of times when you see a sesame tofu recipe, you can see that the sauce is very sticky. My sauce is a little bit sticky, but the fact is that I did not put a lot of sugar in this. This has about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup in the entire sauce. That is not a lot. The more sugar that you add, the more saucy it will get. But we don't like to add too much sugar in our house, so we're okay with it not being super sticky. Anyways, if you have made it to the end of this video, congratulations, you're amazing. If you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing would be amazing. It's super hard to get subscribers when you're a new channel. And I am so grateful for you being here today, friends. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Cooking Live with Lala. I will see you next week. I have no idea what I'm making because in real life, that's 2.5 weeks away. But we will see you then. Have a great week, friends. Bye.